Alrighty, everyone, trying a new camera spot on there, so hopefully maybe this makes a little bit more sense to be in this other side of the screen. But anyways, let's get to the topic of this video. We need to start really counting fouls in the UFC. Um, last Saturday's main event, Cejudo versus Song Yadong, unfortunately gave way to one of the nastier eye pokes that we've seen in the UFC. It was a double eye poke, absolutely brutal. Um, Henry Cejudo took all 5 minutes to try and get ready and be fight ready, but unfortunately he could not. And yeah, the damage that was done is just really evident here from the picture that I'm showing you. Um, Even Funk Master commented, "Remember, guys, he's faking it." Yeah, I mean, it's really tough because obviously, a lot of people are gonna be like, he should have kept fighting. If he was a real warrior, he would have fought through it. I fight blind, There's gonna be people like that, but in a fist fight, when you can be embarrassed in front of millions of people, because this was one of the highest gates of UFC Seattle. I think it was 18,000 people in that arena. Um, Absolutely insane to be coming back to UFC Seattle and getting those numbers. But anyways, why would you go out there and fight essentially blind? I mean, not blind. I mean, you've seen double, but why would you go out there and fight with impaired vision against a surging young contender that can put you out with a couple of shots? Not a great idea. So, I mean, it was a good idea on Henry Cejudo to, vocalize, hey, I can't see. Like, I can't continue on through the rest of this fight. Which sucks is that there was no point taken away when it happened the second time. It already happened in round two, and then it happened again sometime around round three. I think it was again in the beginning of the round three. Not only that, Henry Cejudo took two nut shots as well. Second time they had to completely stop it, give him time to recover. If there is more than one foul, a point should be taken away. Accidental or not, you're changing the way the fight is going out. Even if you're kicking someone in the nuts, if you're affecting that person's leg strength essentially and their ability to move around. And when that's done more than once, I mean that's really affecting a fight. Intentional or not, we need to take points away to really incentivize fighters to really control their hands and where they're kicking and stuff. Because I bet you, lazier kicks aren't gonna happen if points are taken away for fouls like that. And I bet you, fingers will stay closed more often when points are being taken away. I mean, Song Yadong, right after he was warned twice, or I think it was, yeah, pretty much twice, I believe, about having his fingers outstretched. I mean, dude had his fingers outstretched afterwards too when Henry Cejudo recovered, or not really recovered, but he fought anyways, and until the end of round four, he's just pretty much running away at that point. But his fingers were still outstretched, so he was not listening to the warnings beforehand. Therefore, because of that, he should have a point taken away. Intentional or unintentional. I know he wasn't going in there to double eye poke him and have the fight ended that way. It's not a good look on his career, and it's unfortunately going to be one of those things that people look back with not a good view. Um, Really sucks for Henry Cejudo too. This is like not entirely worst case scenario, but this really is one of the worser scenarios that he can get for his return. Because at least if he made his return, had a good fight, even if he lost, and fought all 5 rounds, it was a really competitive fight. I mean, he was in there bloodying up Song Yadong. He did some damage to his nose, cut him on the cheek, and was getting a good jab off. Song Yadong was doing good as well, and was arguably winning the fight to a lot of people. I thought it was pretty even. I think it was 1-1. And I think round three was going to Song Yadong. But other than that, it was pretty back and forth. Henry Cejudo, he didn't look like totally bad out there. But again, and this has been mentioned before, talking about the actual fight itself, why didn't Henry Cejudo get a takedown, man. Making us wrestlers, ugh, make us not look too good. I mean, I've never done MMA, so I mean, I can't be like, "What are you doing? You're making us the wrestlers look bad." But like we need someone in the United States who's dominant in wrestling to go out there and wrestle like Marab, like Islam and all these other guys who are strong, heavy grapplers. We're just not seeing that too often. Imagine if Justin Gaethje wrestled, dude would be he could probably would have been champ. I mean, come on. If he would have wrestled Khabib just a little bit or offensively wrestled anyone, dude, striking too could have opened up a lot more. But that's another story. We're getting off topic. Talking about fouls here. If a point was taken away, it would have made this much more likely to be a draw. Honestly, would have been better for Henry Cejudo to go on a draw rather than a loss. Because man, now he's 16-5. You can't erase that. You know. And the fact that it goes for a win for Song Yadong is absolutely crazy. Regardless if he was winning the fight, if a fight is ended in any sort of like any sort of foul, it should just be a no contest, regardless of who was winning the fight. It really shouldn't matter. I mean, hell, the legal knee from Jan, on Aljamain Sterling, costed him his title. I don't understand why a foul with a poke to the eyes shouldn't also cost the person who did it a foul as well. They know the rules. They know they can't have their hands outstretched like this. It has to be up or, closed fist. And which is another thing. I don't know why fighters, when warned about their hands, don't like curve their, you know, fingers a little bit. Izzy does actually a really good job on it of, parrying with a closed fist, but still keeping his hands closed and not poking anybody. Um, but speaking of, fists and gloves and stuff like that, the UFC, in case you missed this, is not using the new gloves anymore. They're back to their old gloves, which I believe allow for more free hand range motion, and the old gloves were kind of stiffer, pushing your fingers down. A lot of speculation was because John Jones complained about the gloves and really didn't like it, which is funny because that dude is one of the biggest eye pokers. Obviously not of recently, but in history, John is known to put his hand out and just, get that pinky finger or that ring finger in one of those eyeballs and push you away with it. Um, but yeah, it's really crazy that we're kind of going back to needing to address eye pokes and stuff, and going back to the old gloves. I mean, I guess people were not getting knocked out in the old gloves or the new gloves that are now old. I didn't really see that though, honestly. I mean, Ilya Taporia KO'd Max Holloway in the new gloves. Islam and Dustin Poirier had that insane war with the new gloves. There's like not I don't think there's enough examples of the new gloves not getting people TKOs or KOs. Not that I thought like the new gloves were ultra amazing and better in every way. Honestly, they need to just give Trevor Whitman a bag and let him design the gloves for the UFC. I like the idea of the more cupped approach where even though like you could still grapple and stuff like that, but it's a bit more cupped so that way your fingers can't really, poke out of there. That kind of makes sense to me. Giving the fingers a bit more coverage. And then overall, I mean, there's the Pride FC gloves that really never had any issues of getting crazy eye pokes. There's a lot of other gloves out there that could work better for the UFC that for some reason they just don't do because they're greedy and they don't want to pay anyone with a different patent for the gloves. Because that's what the UFC will want to do. They'll want to buy the patent from Trevor Whitman instead of paying him for the gloves. I don't know the full details or whatever on that. I just remember that being vaguely mentioned in a Joe Rogan podcast. But yeah, I would really like to see fouls punished more severely. I think you get one foul and it's a warning, and then the next one's a point. Regardless, if it's an eye poke and then it's a kick to the crotch next, it's a point taken away. If it's any other way around, point taken away. Regardless, you get one. You get one. Okay, and then the next one is a point. It should be like that regardless. accidental or non-accidental, I think it could bring a little bit more entertainment to the fights. I know the refs aren't supposed to be getting involved so much in the fight. They want the fighters to do their thing, but when there's it's not like the guys are trying to cheat, but when it's, you know, cheating kind of aspects being done, a point should be taken away. It's done with positioning when fighter grabs the cage. There's a lot of things where we, are like, yep, cage grab, reset the position and stuff. At least some refs. There's a lot of refs that just smack their hand out or whatever, and that's it, which I think is ridiculous. I think if you're caught grabbing the cage, they stop it, they reset you in that position, continue the fight off from there. I'm kind of one of those people too, as well, that shit like is more for fighters. Getting like at least 30-40 seconds. If they don't do anything with it, standing back up a little bit. No, that's too much. That's too short. 30-40 seconds, that's too short. Maybe more like 2 minutes if nothing serious is being done or no submissions are made. Set them back on their feet to restart it, even if the guy is on top of them. No, that's too crazy. Obviously, we should just let the fighters stay in their position that they're staying in, to continue the fight. But yeah, if there's any kind of foul made via eye poke, crotch kicking, I can't think of any, pulling down on the shorts, Muhammad Mokayev, point should be taken away, plain and simple. But yeah, that's my little eye poke foul rant video for the day. Hope you guys enjoyed, and thank you for watching. I appreciate it.